Presenting the CW Crew.
Hey guys, it's Alexa, and I am here with Bill and Josh, co-owners of UglyDeck.com. I gotta know, who came up with this name?
This guy.
Where'd that come from?
We looked at rebranding our company. Our original name was All Seasons Building Company, and it was a name that people weren't remembering, and it was kind of generic. And so the economy was changing. It was 2008, 2009. Everybody was kind of staying at home and doing work on their deck and calling their decks ugly, so we rebranded to UglyDeck.com.
Did you think he was a little bit crazy for this idea, or did you hop on board right away?
Yeah, maybe for a few seconds, but then I kind of realized, it's kind of smart. We always say it does three things that All Seasons didn't, right? It's easy to remember, tell you what we do and how to get a hold of us all in one little swoop, so it was pretty smart.
I love that. Well, the name is Ugly Deck, but these are certainly not ugly. What sets your product apart from other products in the same industry?
Well, we focus on maintenance-free products, and so we look at decks as a whole, and people are sick of maintenance. Siding, roofs, everything's kind of maintenance-free, and deck was kind of like the last product to really kind of hit that evolution. And so we kind of got into maintenance-free decks and stopped doing wood, and that's kind of the way the market started to go, so it worked out well.
And that holds up at a place like here in Minnesota throughout all the seasons, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, as far as snow, as far as cold, expansion and contraction, it adapts to the weather, and so it does real well in the Minnesota weather.
So you're based here in Shakopee, Minnesota, but where are you guys seeing your products go? Where's kind of your work area?
Our core business is in the Twin Cities. That's where we grew up. There's a lot of homes that have decks on them, so that's kind of where we put our roots down. But we do have location dealer in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We have a franchise in Mankato, a franchise towards St. Cloud, and then we're opening up a showroom in Glendale Heights, Chicago.
So a lot of people probably recognize you guys, obviously from the name, but also from the duck that showed up in a couple television commercials. Are we going to see the return of the duck?
I hope not, but who knows? We never know.
So you were the guy in the duck costume.
Yeah, I got
He's
to be
the one that doesn't want to come back.
I got to be the big dumb idiot, and he got to be the guy who's annoyed with the big dumb idiot, and so yeah, that's kind of how that evolved.
Never know.
Maybe
make an appearance at some point.
You guys have certainly transformed a number of people's backyards. What are some of the things that you guys offer beyond the deck that can kind of elevate and upgrade someone's backyard space?
Sure. Yeah, we do a lot of specialty products, I guess you'd call them, between pergolas, spiral staircases, privacy walls, different things. We kind of pimp out the deck with different products that kind of make it unique to their own. And so we kind of have always been trying to do something different than a lot of other people do, and hence the specialty products.
So in addition to these specialty items, you guys are also offering a DIY service. Can you explain to me how that works?
Yeah, ever since we've been in business, we've always had customers come to us and say, hey, could you help us with, materials on our project? We don't want to hire you to install the deck, but maybe we're going to do it ourselves. And they would come to the showroom and they just love the expertise. I mean, that's the world we come from, is building decks, so why not show homeowners how to do it? In the last couple of years, we decided to really go after that market. We felt like big box was kind of abandoning that type of customer. They were looking at more stuff on their shelves, and this customer needs to be, taken care of, and a lot of questions and stuff. So we built a program that's specifically for DIY customers, and we assign them a coach. We walk them through how to do their project. We shoot videos and give them an experience that big box stores can't deliver on.
So this coach kind of just guides you along. Any questions you may have, are they available to be contacted when someone has a question, or how does that coach kind of fit in?
Yeah, the coach is assigned to them right at the beginning of the project, and they have full access to them via email and phone. They'll send pictures of what's going on, they'll call them, they'll FaceTime them. The nice thing with technology is we can offer so much more now with the homeowner. So they'll call up and say, I'm on a specific part of the deck, what do I need to do? And our coach will give them answers and make them feel like, give them some confidence and guide them through it. So decks will always be something that people will do themselves, but to have a service that's dedicated to the customer to get through from start to finish is a big deal.
Give you some confidence too,
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe for the first timer, but it's definitely very Midwest for people to want to do it themselves. You guys really, focus on giving back to the community. I know that there's one cause in particular that's very, very near and dear to your heart. That is the Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund. Tell me your connection.
My youngest son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 8 years old. So obviously that's JDRF is a charity that I find near and dear to my own heart, wanting to help, because I see how much that can affect people and their families and their lives. It's you don't get a break from type 1 diabetes. It's a constant everyday thing, and so it just makes sense. Bill and I always talked about becoming involved in different things, and this one just obviously makes sense being how it's close to me. So my son is now 19 years old and he's doing well. So that's really why we got involved with JDRF.
I would love to go take a look at some of more of the custom products and those unique features that you guys have. So that would be great. Should we do it?
Yep.
Cool. So Josh, you have this big, beautiful showroom.
Thanks.
This is a place where people can come in and check out the products?
Correct, yep, exactly. We got picture boards where people can kind of, use as an example of what their house might look like or what it would look like if they choose these specific products, and different decks. And we built different decks, so with different deckings, different brands, different styles of railings, spiral staircases, pergolas. It's very visual, these products, and it's nice to see them, touch and feel before you go spending all the money on these kind of products.
Let's walk through a couple of those accessories that we talked about.
Yeah, here we've got like a screen wall, aluminum frame screen wall system that you can do either under a deck or actually on a porch. You could have a deck with a hard roof, and then you can put these aluminum frame screen walls in there. One of the unique products that we do. Got doors.
And this is something that'll hold up in the winter?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, maintenance free.
Everything's got to be tough here in Minnesota.
That's right. Spiral staircases, we do a lot of these. I don't know, 60, 70 of them a year probably.
Obviously, all the different railings that you have here, you kind of overlook that, but it is nice to see even just like the different, some of them have lights on them, some of them don't.
Correct.
What that might look like in
different styles from cable rail to a different size posts.
Right, and I see here like the different lights on the steps.
Become very popular. Low voltage lighting on decks has become almost a must. I'd say 9 out of 10 decks we do these days have some variants of low voltage lighting on their decks. So.
Well, it adds some flair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone wants to have
a
the
cool
deck.
ambiance, if you will.
Exactly.
Ambiance. There you go.
100%.
Yeah.
So for someone who might be living in an association where they kind of have some say over what's going on, do you offer some flexibility in the different kind of products and materials, I guess?
Yeah, sure. There's a variety of different products that we sell and install. Aluminum railing has really become kind of the thing, though. Like composite railings, they're very cumbersome and take a long time to install, and they're just as expensive as the material as an aluminum. So aluminum goes in way faster, and with the variety of colors and styles that you get aluminum rail, that's the way to go. That's what we sell most of.
So let's talk a little bit more about your son and this cause that obviously means so much to you. He's had diabetes for a number of years, but he's living with it and doing well.
He is. He's actually currently a sophomore at Bethel University in Arden Hills. He plays football there, which I'm pretty proud of him. So obviously living with the disease, day in, day out, like I told you earlier, there's no break from it, and he does really well with it. So I'm proud of him. The type 1 diabetes community is very close. So, when you have it's a scary thing when you first learn of a diagnosis, and I've met with multiple families, and their young kids get diagnosed, and I'll actually, my son and I and my wife would sit down and talk to them and kind of reassure them that it can be okay. You just got to work through it, and you kind of give them what to expect, because like I said, it's a scary thing when you first learn of something like that. So.
Yeah, and knowing that's hearing from someone else who's gone through it is very reassuring, very comforting feeling.
Absolutely.
Your time working with this organization, have you seen improvements? What's kind of the future hold?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question, because technology has come a long ways. I mean, my son is now on a pump, and he's got a constant glucose monitoring system, so they talk to each other, and it's essentially an artificial pancreas. So He doesn't have to poke his finger, 15 times a day anymore to check his blood. It's actually constantly feeding his pump, and so it's giving him insulin as needed. And so yes, technology's come a long, long ways, and I hope it continues to go that way further and further. And JDRF is helping advance that ball, every year. And they've got multiple studies going on, and it's a great cause, and something I'm proud to be part of.
Well, I'm sure your son is inspiring many, many people, both with and without diabetes, but we wish him all the best and a great football season down there at Bethel. Before we get started here, do you need any experience to do this? Because some people might be intimidated. Like, I've never built a deck before, can I do this?
I mean, you don't have to have a tremendous amount of experience. You probably should be comfortable operating power tools, right? So, but I mean, most people have done projects, they put things together, and a lot of this stuff is very similar to that.
Okay.
And usually people know a friend or a brother or family member that, has some experience. And so they'll, bring them into the project. I mean, we work with, homeowners that have a dad or a brother or maybe a friend, and basically we'll teach them that process together.
It's nice to have a friend, a handy friend,
Yeah, exactly.
for sure. So these are the different materials or the different options for colors and that type of thing. So people would come in here and pick out what they want?
Yeah, generally, we'll have 50 plus colors listed on the board, and we kind of break it into different categories. But most homeowners are drawn to maybe a half a dozen colors. Meaning that, okay, there's all these different options. They're not staring at 50 colors and trying to figure it out. There's 4, 5, 6 that really resonate with people that match their house or the look that they're after. And we'll kind of zero on those, and we'll kind of go through the pros and cons of each product as far as, maybe it's, a texture difference.
Right.
So that's, this is just kind of a starting place. Yep.
The different textures.
Yeah, a lot of variation in the wood, so it kind of simulates wood. That was the big thing with maintenance-free materials, is initially they didn't look like wood, and now they've evolved to a point where you put them down and it has that same look and same feel as wood.
Right. So after someone's come in here and picked out, the color and the different features, what's the next step?
We develop a plan. Either the homeowner has a plan in mind, or maybe they have some parameters of, like, I want to go from this part of my house over to here, and we develop a plan with the homeowner, and then we make those selections, and then we start working on pricing for the homeowner and see if it's viable for them.
So you provide some design
Yes.
consulting. I
Yeah,
should
we
say.
do the design. Homeowners, again, have a lot of parameters that they kind of want to work within, and materials come in certain sizes. So we try to come up with a plan that's cost effective. If decking is 12, 14, 16 foot long, develop a plan that actually maximizes material and gives the customer the most bang for their buck.
For the average deck, how long does it take to build it?
Well, it depends on the size of the project, obviously. It depends on how much the homeowner's investing, but most projects take a homeowner a couple weeks to complete because they're working at different times of the day, in the evening or maybe on the weekend or maybe when that friend's available.
Right.
So we've been surprised where homeowners done in a couple days, and some homeowners take all summer long, and that's fine because it's kind of up to them and their schedule, and they can jump right back into it, and that coach is still available to them.
UglyDeck.com is a great local family-owned company giving back to the community and making beautiful decks. So whether or not you want to facelift your old deck, create a new one and do it yourself, or just have them do all the work, head to UglyDeck.com.
See more of this story at thecwtc.com and like, follow, subscribe to, and love the CW Crew.